Hello and welcome back to the 5-Star Potential Podcast Social. We're on to episode 28 and the final podcast of our daily lockdown podcast. I mean, it's a podcast. Yeah. I hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And we're here once again with 3 of my favourite members of the FM community to finish off the series. We kick off with Dupe. Dupe, how's it going, man?
It's worth the space here, then.
Definitely not one of Dave's favourite people.
I'm good, Dave. Yeah, I'm good. I had a little, I wouldn't say accident at work because then it's got to go in the accident book, but I've had a little incident at work and I'm a bit poorly at the moment and you're taking the piss out of it. Apart from that, I'm gutted this is the last one.
Are you there?
I'm gutted this is the last one.
What have you done? What accident have you had?
Woke up late.
I went to the dentist. Definitely didn't wake up late. I went to the dentist. And then when I was lifting a gate motor, the housing of the gate motor wasn't locked in to the actual motor itself. So as I lifted it up, the housing came up because I had the bottom bit, which was the motor, which weighed about 40 kilograms, went down and my finger was in the middle of the pivot point.
Did you not read the risk assessment?
I wrote it.
Explains it.
And so it's very sore. I can't feel the end of my finger at the moment.
Shame.
Looks like you're feeling it.
Hang on, is that why I'm here? Because I'm Doctor Benjy.
Yes, could you tell me? It's like embarrassing bodies, right?
Joe, Friday Night FM, how you keeping, man?
Really good, mate. Really glad this is the last one.
Sort of like sugarcoat it at all.
I think it's just because we're tired, innit? Like, as in the late nights and stuff. We have enjoyed it, though.
To have a night off when it's...
Yeah.
It's talking to you, mate.
I'm a bit boring. Just one of them. A bit.
I love you, Dave.
Yeah.
Your tinsel's fallen down again, Dave. Can we sort that out, please?
I like it like that. It's like it's a bit chilled out, isn't it?
Dreadlocks.
Yeah,
It
dreadlocks.
looks horrendous.
It looks horrendous, yeah. Thank
I
you.
bet that's still there
Rest the wolf.
February. I bet that's still there February.
Tinsel.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. And our final guest, a special guest today, returning, is Doctor Benjy. Ben, how's it going?
Good to see you. I like the fact you still introduce yourselves, despite the fact you've done loads of these.
Yeah.
If people don't know by this point, then, you know, they don't deserve to know who you 3 are. But yeah, it's good to be here. Nice to be back for round 2 and killing it off, which is always what I like to end a series with the final one. Yeah.
Yeah, well, similarly to yesterday, as we spoke to Tony Jameson again, just a bit more chilled out. Obviously, the first one was pretty heavily COVID related. We want to chill out a little bit more now, focus on what's going to be happening over the next few months and sort of how you've been getting on throughout lockdown, really. Has anything changed for you over the last couple of weeks since you last spoke to these boys, Ben?
We've got less childcare than we were having at the time. Like, it's just very much me and Elle against the world a little bit with little Doug. It's been alright though. I think we had it because obviously we had it at the very start when he was born. It was quite similar that it was very like strictly routined. And like we've seen a few people here and there in 1s and 2s, but really it's been a case of dealing with everything as it comes, which has been, I don't know. I guess it's sad, isn't it? You get so used to it that you end up knowing how to deal with it. Which is that phrase, the new normal. But I don't really like this normal very much. It's not a great normal.
What's the one thing you're looking forward to do when things are back to normal? What's the one thing you're looking forward to do with Doug? Take it to a football match?
Go on holiday
obviously,
somewhere.
Yeah, holiday.
I want to take him somewhere. I want to do something with him. Not New York, no.
He'd love it. He really
expensive. I've always wanted to go though, Joe. So one day. But no, I just want to go on holiday somewhere just like, whether it be like Yorkshire or Cornwall or wherever, like somewhere where you can take him away. Equally, I want him to meet other children. Like that's another big one. Like there's 2 things. I've just wanting to go away with him, but also wanting him to have like a regular childhood of meeting and interacting with younger children. I think that's so important. And so far, he's probably, I think, 1 or 2, like for like sort of friends. And that was like months ago now, to the point where he probably won't even remember. So yeah, those things definitely I feel like we're missing out on, and I hope will be, I don't know what would it be now, middle of next year maybe, early next year. You don't know, do you? We literally don't know. If you'd have asked me in March when this would have been all sorted, I'd have gone, nah, about October. And here we are, having like restricted Christmases. So
can't see another lockdown. So it's only going to get better from here, I think.
Yeah, you'd hope so, right?
Well, I hope so, because otherwise we've got to do another lot of podcasts, right? We're running out of guests, as you can tell.
Ben's on for the 9th time. Viewers, it's good to have him back.
It's October 2024. We're locked down 12. Ben's on again. Hi, Ben.
Good, mate.
just
Good. That was Tony yesterday.
Glasses.
Yeah. Was Tony Jameson good yesterday? Yeah. Good. Excellent.
Part 43.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the on like what's your little boy meeting other kids, because at the moment, like Ted, his best mates are like the postwoman and the man that delivers the Amazon parcels. It's like he actually gets excited to see them, and he'll say hello.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's sad, isn't it, man?
Upset with you here, mate. It's a horrible thing to say.
I think he was joking. I'll jump in. I think he was joking, but you never know with dude.
Hang on. I wasn't. That's what you told me. Amazon Prime. I think with that
Comes
though,
daily.
like we're quite lucky with ours because well, my eldest is still at school. He's still in work. He's still working at school and not working out of school. He's still in school. God, it's been a long week.
He's a TA now, and he's moved up.
But it's the other one. Like you said, he just doesn't. He hasn't got a clue what's going on. He doesn't interact with other children. What is he? He's 1.5, or closing in 1.5. He's walking now, which is nuts. So at the start of the lockdown, he wasn't walking. He's now walking. So family members have only seen that via videos and FaceTime. Yeah. It's not the same, when the little boy's walking up to you to give you a big hug. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's pretty tough. They're missing out on that, but it's easy for us. They've been through it with my eldest, and mine is a little bit older. but with yours, both of yours, that it must be so tough on the grandparents to not be able to see that child properly grow and properly turn into little Dougie or little Darcy. Do you know what I mean? I think that's pretty tough.
Yeah, I think it's not just that. It's like we've both got sisters. Me and Elle both got sisters. So the auntie relationship, they were so looking forward to. All they could talk about, and they're just not getting that. Like no one is, because at the moment, like the grandparents will take priority. If we're going to see them at any point, and if they're not at work, like each auntie that isn't at work, then they've got the opportunity. But if they are, they just miss out on that again, and that would be like their one chance that week. So then it takes another 2 or 3 weeks for them to see them again. It like takes them to come out to the door and drop something off, and just to be there to like wave and see him smile, and then just hope that they get that one moment. It's tough.
Is he weightlifting yet?
No, he does things around the house though. He moves a few boxes. Just like, can you get that? No, he's still a bit of he's a tank already. He's ridiculous considering he's 3. Well, he's 13 weeks, but he's people. Every time anyone sees him, they go, "Oh, what is he? 6 months, 7 months?" It's like, no.
Yeah.
When does that change? I can't remember when that changed from when you go from weeks to months. What age? How many weeks is it until you swap it over?
It's technically like 3 months, but then you realise that actually that's just like 4. You're saying that as like 4 weeks a month, but then so it's 13 weeks.
Okay. I never remembered.
Have you ever had it where someone says, "How old is he?" and someone goes 15 months, and he goes, "What is 1 then?"
Dave said that on Mock the Week.
No.
Dave still gets, I'm 210 months. Doing you a favour.
The best one we ever had was when somebody asked my wife how old our youngest would, and the old lady went, so how old is she? And she went, he is 6 weeks old. I was like, fuck it, calm down.
She definitely put it on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, she had a fucking blind dog with her. Like, give her a chance, fucking hell.
Just a blind dog.
She can see fine. The dog was...
Good night, everyone. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. That's great. Say goodbye, folks.
The dog was questioning it. She was like, it's definitely a boy. He's going, ruffle, no, ruffle. Still a joke, right? This is still comedy.
It'll work.
I just realised I'm doing an impression of a blind dog. So going for this out? Yeah, probably.
You were 50% of the way there if Al wasn't there to fix your glasses, though, to be fair.
That's true, mate. It's true. I barely know which one was you and which was Dave.
I'm surprised she's good work experience at an optician, those sorts of skills.
I'll mention that to her. I'll say, do you think she could be great at an optician?
It's a job opportunity.
Do give you a reference.
Tell her to go to Specsavers though, because everyone's tells me you should have gone to Specsavers.
She's going to say, "Did you enjoy the pod?" I go, "I got you a job, so you're going to be happy."
Yeah.
So obviously during lockdown, Ben, in terms of, have you sort of reflecting back, have you seen any changes in you as like a content creator as well? Has any part of this lockdown made you think a little bit more about how you schedule content, how you look at content, or do you think it's sort of more or less the same now?
I definitely think I've done a lot more streaming, so you find yourself being more mellow because you can't be on. Like usually I'd stream, I'd think, right, I'm going to give everything for 4 hours, and doing it quite split or doing it like 4 times a week, it's not too bad. Doing it like daily, every day, I was like, I can't be like this all the time. So if people come into my stream after 2 or 3 hours, happened today, someone goes, Ben doesn't look very happy. It's like, no, I'm just not like really excited. I'm 1-1 against the side of the Swedish 4th division. Like, it's not that exciting. So I've definitely found a way to not be on it all the time. And then but then when you have those moments, like make the most of the moments that you have in the save when you're doing content. But yeah, I've definitely been a lot more chill. I think I've done a bit more planning for like YouTube as well, because everything feels, I don't know about you boys, everything just feels slower. So like it feels like you've got more time, even though I don't know whether we've got more time or not. It just feels like because you've not got anything coming up, that you've just got that little bit more time. Like most weeks it'd be like, who are we going to go see? Are we going out for a meal? Are we doing the weekly shop? And it's like, how do we fit all that into our week? But without any of that really going on as much, yeah, everything just feels. I don't know if it's slower or just more considered. Like,
do one of these every night, mate. Do one of these every night after you've done your day job, and then you feel like you've got no time.
Yeah,
squeeze in a stream before. It's not like it was last night, wasn't it, Joe? So last night, it must have got to about 1:45, and I went to Joe. Joe, have you seen the time? He was like, no, and I went, it's 1:45, and he was like, where the bloody hell's that evening gone? Like seriously, it just flew by.
I could probably see if you was like in Ben's situation, you're at home because you're not getting to go out.
That sounds silly, but like I'm not taking the piss, but like genuinely.
Yeah, but only because of the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that sort of ridiculousness.
If there's no football, would you know what day it is?
Football's on.
Yeah, but there's football every day. I was saying this on stream actually. I don't know if you boys feel the same, but I'm bored of watching football that's not my team. Like I feel like
apparently Klopp, you play loads of games.
We do play a lot. We play on every 2 days, I think. But no, it gets to the point where like I am, as someone that I'm still football obsessed, right? If it's on, I'll watch it. But there's definitely this element of me now that is like, I don't have to catch up with what I've seen because I'm going to see some more tomorrow or the day after that. Like you have the World Cup or the Euros, you love that. It's every day. It's so new. It's so like it's every couple of years. You barely see it, and seeing football at that frantic pace is so much fun. This like with the way that lockdown is and the scheduling, it's every day, man. It's every single day that there's another game and like 4 games.
Yeah, when we didn't have it though, it was the worst, wasn't
it? Yeah, you're wishing for it every day. You're like, oh, Thursday's coming around. I don't even care about the Europa League, but now you're like, oh god, Europa League's on tonight because everything's on.
No, I think that's just been everyone in general. I've sort of, like you say, I haven't gone out my way to watch any other football. If I'm sat here for like 10-15 minutes, obviously Sky chuck the highlights up now in like 2 minutes, so I'll watch. Yeah. I'll still know what the goals are like and stuff like that.
Just to keep it on brand, Liverpool keeper has just made an absolute worldie. Just saying.
Yeah,
Adrian out.
Better than Adrian.
When did you sign on Armin Pine?
No, a few years back. I scouted him at the FM events, and I thought, yeah, he'll do.
Yeah. Nah, but
great save.
Yeah, like I said, I've not sort of gone out my own way to put any other games on and so on. I think it's like you really, Ben. So it's like, not that I'm exhausted of it, but you know, there's I think we've said it a lot on this podcast that you just like the time has gone so quick and it feels like you've done nothing, and guests have said that. But if you like take a second and think, right, what have I actually done over the last number of months? Like especially in your case, Ben, you look at it, you might think that, but then you look. Where we've done like 8 or 9 series or whatever of the Streamer Showdown. We've done this. We've managed to get this. We've managed to do this. I've done this content. You know, when you actually think about it, and even little things like Dupe, you'll say, right, what have I done? But like in terms of Football Manager, you've probably piled in loads of hours. You managed to get the Champions League win, which I know sounds a bit nerdy, a bit sad, but you still managed to do.
Oh, to me that made my mate.
Pretty big achievement. But you like I know as well, like you know, Pentagon Challenge. Without the lockdown, I wouldn't have been able to do any of that. I know it's like games and stuff and hobbies, but still, you wouldn't have been able to have the time to do any of or achieve any of that. We wouldn't have got the numbers on content or streams if people were working full time as well. So I think
they've just gone glass half full.
Yeah,
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy, Dave. But I worked every day. And I still managed to do all that, which is mad when you think about it and you break it down and you go, shit, yeah, like I choked 6 months of my life into that Palermo safe, which was all of it was all in lockdown. The one thing I'll take away is I've quit smoking in lockdown, and we're closing on 200 days, and it's literally a week today, and it's 200 days away.
Well done, man.
That's class.
Massive.
Yeah, no.
The best day will be when you stop counting.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, when you're like, not even thought about it. Like, obviously at the moment it's still fresh enough that you're.
I think because those target days like are there, so I'd probably you go probably from 200 to 500, I guess. I don't know. Just like.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a long time to give anything up. No mind something that's actually addicting. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, no, I'm very proud. I mean, you shouldn't do it in the first place, kids. To be fair, but very proud of it. It's hard. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, it's funny you mention like what I've achieved, because I said to Elle, I was like, "What do we get my parents for Christmas? I want to like treat them." She was like, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I could, like if it was any other year, because they always want to go to Canada," and I was like, "I'll try and like help them get some flights to Canada," and but obviously with the travel the way it is, like there's just no point. And I was like, well, you know, you wouldn't have had this year. You wouldn't be able to do that had like COVID not happened. It's like, yeah, that's probably true. Like it's
bittersweet.
Really, yeah. So and it's really weird. I don't know if we talked about it last time I was on. It's really weird having a world that is feeling a bit glum and struggling, and at the same time, like being in an environment, especially during the summer months, where I thrived as like in my like creative way. Like there is like this weird guilt attached to that. That admittedly, right, it's not my fault. Like my job didn't actually change, but there was definitely this case of, man, I finished a day and I think, yeah, there we go, good, smashed it. And then you go on Twitter and you see like so many people struggling, finding it tough. I don't know. It doesn't take the shine off it, but like it definitely makes you like reflective of what you've done, and if it was the right thing to do, almost. Although again, I'm not changing what I would have done, but I definitely have days where I'm like, do I want to get on and be really happy and jovial? But then you try and rationalise it and think, well, people want this, people need this, people need a distraction for a few hours, and then hopefully people get something from it, whether it just be, as I say, the distraction or whatever else.
I find it quite difficult. I mean, again, I'm going to mention that I worked all the way through it, but I work for a company that that work for the NHS. We the product that we make in the factory I work in, it directly goes to the NHS. So, as you can probably imagine, we have been busier than ever, and I have kind of open-armed and took full advantage of that due to the fact of overtime being through the roof. My workload has been massive, and every opportunity I've been at working. And you're right, though. You do feel that little bit when you see on, like you said, on Twitter and on the telly, and you're like, you shouldn't feel bad, but part of you just thinks, have I profited from a global pandemic? You know, without this, would I be, you know, where we are right now? But then, you know, I didn't do it sneakily. You didn't do it sneakily. I think you can probably hold your head up high with that. It's not like you went and bought every toilet paper in the 4-mile radius and sold it on eBay for 50 quid.
Couldn't get it. Never mind selling it on.
Sorry,
yeah,
did you want some?
At the time,
my garage is still full.
I'm just going to point out here, I think that Wendy's a bit of a Dr. Benjy fan.
Oh, she just came in then. Did you see her then again?
Because she just walked in again. This is like the third video.
Yeah, get her back in. I've got some home truths.
Come on, this should be amazing. I want to get an apology.
I'll be so like,
just walked in. Is that
me? Apology by me? You kidding? I'm still waiting for my apology.
People still come into my chat and say that whenever you raid, are you winning, Dave? Are you winning, David? Get your tea.
Worst football manager moment of my career.
Are you sure?
Give me a loss to Zealand anytime. Yeah, anytime.
But as soon as Mrs. Azzopardi walks in, it's game over.
Yeah. If I'm playing you, and if I get to a final of a showdown, which seems unlikely based on recent form, and you're there, then halfway through, she knows KFC are sponsored. Their money on the line. Yeah. She's like, "Dave, you winning?" Honestly, I'll break something. I'll smash it. I'll come around and punch her pig in face in Dave. Is what I'll do.
That'll be. That's one way to get her getting in there. Can we get that on a soundbite, Dave?
What?
I think we need a Wendy soundboard.
Yeah, we could get it.
Well, are you winning?
Oh my god.
Sorry?
I was going to say, do you lot know what she even sounds like? But you hear them shouting and screaming enough outside.
Yeah, Dave. I also paid £1.50 a minute to listen to it.
That's poor.
I get this every night, Ben. Yeah.
So do I have to pay it?
We're only doing it because we're only fans.
That's what. Yeah, that's why all the overtime's coming handy.
My word.
You got a feature. You've given up smoking, but you're addicted to something else, which is straight fire. Only joking, of course, David and Wendy, but I do hate her. So,
What have you in terms of
leave the mothers out of this?
Yeah. What's sort of been your proudest achievement, do you reckon, this year, Benny? Do you think it is the Streamer Showdown in terms of like what
probably having a child?
Probably having a son.
Oh, other than that, obviously. Other than that, I mean, in terms of content, I think Streamer Showdown might still be ahead of it. You don't know, do you?
Giving Kev 4 wins or the child. Difficult. Yeah, I mean, apart from the baby, which is a given. We'll count as a given, like professionally. Yeah, I think the most pleasing thing to me actually has just happened within the Football Manager community is that when I look at Twitch now and I see guys that were part of the showdown with numbers that were higher than when they were, like way higher than when they were when they first started streaming as part of the showdown.
Yeah,
that's the moment I'm a little bit like, yes, I knew this would be like I always said it was never the plan of the showdown to give people like this ridiculous amount of exposure and we'll like or anything like that, but it'd be a byproduct of being involved. And I'm seeing that now throughout creators, and I don't just think it's impacting. Maybe arrogantly, I think this, but I don't think it's just impacting creators that are involved. I think there are more eyes on streaming as a result of it. So, if that's the thing I actually am probably most proud of, like the production of what we put on, the amount that goes into making each and every showdown is great. But seeing like the results of it now, and hopefully, like my big hope is that by this time next year, everything doubles again. And then how strong are we at that point? Like, it's cool to have it done for like a year, and we did 8 of them or whatever, but like, if we never did it again, that would still be great. Mm-hmm. Let's make it greater. Like, I want to make it, let's make Football Manager great again, boys, but no. But
build a wall.
But I genuinely feel like we could, this doesn't have to end here. I think it could be way, way bigger. And the most frustrating thing for me would be if I feel like we haven't progressed enough at the end of 2021, because I think there is so much potential for us to do some really cool stuff. Some of it might depend on pandemic related business, but if I can look back and be as proud of it next year as I am this year, then that'd be sick. That'd be really good.
As a bit of a teaser, maybe. Obviously, if things start to get back to normal, would you, obviously with the help of a lot of others, try and get something maybe live or get all the people in the same room or studio?
I'll say it. Next August, I would love to put on something live. I'd love to hire out a venue, seat 100, 200 people, ticket it. Whether this is possible feels pretty unlikely right now.
Yeah.
The insurance might be might be a premium on events at the moment. I don't know, but yeah, I'd love to be able to do it. Of course, I would. I think, and then to bring other like bigger names in to make it a spectacle. Like, let's say you had 32 people involved in some capacity. You did some of it online. You do a final that's live.
Yeah,
it's a plan I've had for years. I'd love to execute that and actually make that a reality. Whether we do that as part of the showdown or we do it as part of like a bigger brand or whatever it would be, like I don't really mind. I just think the amount that we achieved as a community, as a collective this year, is something I've never been a part of before. So, and I'd like to think I speak for everyone that was involved in any capacity, really, even if you just watched it, that it was one of the coolest things we've had. Like, never mind being a part of it, watching it. I had a couple where I just sort of sat back and thought, this is sick, like, this is so good. I love that we've put this on and it's running smoothly, as smoothly as it can.
Yeah.
You've done stuff previously where I think you had to rely on a lot on other people. I suppose this is the same. Were you surprised with how well it has gone? Did you think one series and that be it? Like, or yeah.
I thought we'd do 3, and people would be because a part of it was like lockdown, right? I didn't know how long lockdown would last.
Yeah.
So there was this idea that everyone's got time, like this idea of hopefully people have got a little bit more time to give up, and they haven't got something coming up this weekend because you can't go anywhere. So like they were locked in to a degree, and I thought that would open up. And look, I think fortunately we've made it big enough and strong enough that people will want to stay in for it now. Yeah. Which I think is something that we didn't have when we started. No, not even close. So people would say to the missus, this weekend I've been invited to be part of this, or I want to watch this. Like, can we get back like early, like evening or whatever?
There'll be arguments up and down the country.
Yeah, the streamer showdown will break up couples. So, yeah, I thought... I'm not surprised because I knew... I think that's what used to frustrate me, is I knew we had so much potential amongst the group of us to make something like this happen. We just couldn't be bothered, if I'm being honest. Like, I think it was a case of time, but it was also a case of not enough people wanting to put in the effort, me included. Like, as you said, I'd done a few bits like this before, and felt like they'd have been more successful had everyone tried harder. And I didn't necessarily know if that would be the case this time around, but actually, most people like exceeded my expectations, and put in way more effort than they even needed to, but have made it a success.
What was the one before, probably most similar that you did? That, what was it called? The FM League, was it, a few years ago?
Yeah, the FM League, and that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
It's such a long time ago for me to sit on that idea, which at the time, like, was, I think I probably had 5,000 subscribers at the time on YouTube, so it was a good like distance away.
Yeah,
I was probably like the third or fourth or even fifth like most subscribed channel within that concept. Like, and like we had Jack in it, we had Startup was in it, Golden FM was in it, Second Hand Card was in it. Like we had some at the time some like big names, like Evolving Mick was in it, Kayvani, guys of like that era that were like staples of that community, and it went well, but it was like it just wasn't the right format. And I think that was the big thing. We just didn't have a format. We didn't have a database. We didn't have draft mode back then either. So some of the things fell into place a little easier this time around. But yeah, it's obviously it's a bit of a gamble. I felt like there was times when I thought I don't want to be overbearing with this, because when I sort of came into it, it wasn't my thing. Like, it was definitely our thing. And I think over the weeks, like, I realised someone's got to take control of this. Otherwise, we're going to be 6 weeks in, everyone, or 4 or 2 weeks in, or whatever it would be, and everyone's looking around going, right, so what's happening next?
Yeah,
and you're looking at like different people. But so I just thought, I love doing event stuff anyway. Like, my dad worked on events in like the local area for years, and I watched him plan and like prep meticulously to the point where if something goes wrong, you're ready to react to whatever the problem is. So I definitely felt like it was something that I would thrive in doing, and hopefully enough people thought I did a good enough job.
In terms of community that you mentioned there, do you think it's more harmonious since the showdown, or do you think it's a bit of lockdown and a bit of?
I think it's more harmonious since everyone met. I think that was a huge catalyst for the change. There used to be a bit of a frosty relationship between some of the bloggers and some of the YouTubers and some of the streamers, and it was all a bit fractious at times. And now I feel like that animosity seems to have just gone. And I think that came from us meeting to the point where we found out not everyone was a little keyboard warrior. Like, actually, there are real people behind these computers that most people as well, like in my experience, 99% of people are exactly the same. But when you hear them say it and you can see their face and you can see the way they're responding and reacting to things, you realise that, one, not everyone's been serious. I'm probably the best example of this. I'd say things on Twitter and people would think, oh, what a dickhead. But you meet me and you think, oh, he's just joking. Like, you can see that he's just joking. Mm-hmm. And I think the perception of all, because I had that perception of some creators, you meet them and you think, actually, you're not nearly as bad or nearly as like horrible as I thought you were. And I think that broke down some walls. I think you're right though. I think, and because we had that core then of like 15 of us probably, it was really easy to bring people into that, and hopefully it was easy for those people to come into that group and think, I feel a part of this now. I don't have to like take away. Like, I go to Clates every single time. He's the best example of someone that came in, fitted in, and then by like the third showdown he was a part of, felt like he'd been doing community stuff with us for years. Like, and so that's credit to everyone that was involved, that we gave people that platform to be the best version of themselves in an area where you need people to be that, so you put on the best show. It's really important.
It feels like a lot of them, like, yeah, I remember even when Mike was on the podcast early doors, and I think I spoke to him after, and I was like, so how long have you been doing content, Mike? Like a year, 18 months? He's like, nah, it started like 3 months ago. I was like, what? Like, it just feels like, I know it might be because it felt like a long year almost, but at the same time it has gone quite quick, hasn't it? But it just felt like everyone had been round as part of the furniture for ages, and I think that Stream Showdown's a big, like, we spoke with each other quite often, especially on the build up to it. You almost speak to everyone like every day, and then we've got the other stuff outside where we're playing Among Us and stuff like that. It's just like, and everyone's gone quite well really. There's not really been any major awkwardness between people, and I think everyone has gotten quite well as well. It's mad really, and like what you're saying with the numbers as well, when you did the FM League for the first time, it just shows. I know 4 or 5 years. It's still a short amount of time. The amount the community has grown is ridiculous. And you got that many people now from the biggest. How much was Jack on roughly? Do you reckon back then, like 15k maybe?
20, probably 25.
The fact that now we've got like people touching towards, and we should have 2, 3, 4 content creators, I reckon, hitting 100k by the end of the sort of FM cycle this year. That'd be amazing, man.
Yeah, it's great. You're right though. Like, obviously, that's something that no one ever really talks about. There was a few like technical issues that it's like someone should be quicker, someone should say this, don't say this. That happened like 4 or 5 times in 8 weeks. I can't remember. There wasn't a single person who fell out with another creator like throughout the whole thing that was involved in the showdown. At no point did we have any disagreements, which is so. You think about some of the events you put on and like conversations you have with different people, there'll always be a little bit of a problem between 2 people. I can't. Like, I'm not just saying this for effect. I genuinely don't think there was anything. Like, if there was, don't mention it. But but I genuinely don't think there was a single problem between any creators. Like, there was moments where I had to be like serious and say this can't happen, or we've got to do it like this, but only to get like the best out of the product that we were putting on.
Yeah,
sounds so serious, doesn't it, when you call it a product or whatnot? But equally, like it has become serious. Yeah, it has become more serious. So, but it doesn't mean because it's got more serious, it can't still be really fun. Like, I think that's the really important balance you've got to bridge every single time. Yeah.
I think, like you say, I think I think everyone really that's been part of the Streamer Showdown, everyone's grown in stature, and I think it's brought more eyes on every creator. Like you say, I think Clates is the best example, really, but even Luke and Mike as well. I think they're only in one showdown each in terms of playing, but they were hosts for 2 or 3 as well. So I think it's just grown the stature of everyone, really, and done the job that it's sort of meant to do, really.
Just on Luke and Mike particularly, right? It's really easy for creators outside of the showdown who I'm sure listen to this because they like and respect what you guys do. And if they're listening to this, Mike and Luke came into the showdown and started to work as hard as anybody else at what their role was. And that is what I want to see. One, they wanted to be involved. Like, they were excited to be involved. And then when they were involved, they worked as hard as anybody to make sure that when they were on camera, they knew exactly what they were talking about. They had notes prepared. I think that's something people just forget. Like, most people that are, especially on the lowdowns, people have got like lists of stuff that's going on, so they know exactly what's coming when it's happening. Credit to Matt and everyone that's on the lowdown to make sure that it is like the most uniformed thing. Like, because that is a show. That is not us dicking about playing each other at draft mode. That's got to be a certain way. And those 2 boys, again, when we first put them in, I didn't really know them that well. It was a bit of a gamble to have 2 new people freshly in, but man, did they like repay that by being brilliant and being exactly what I wanted them to be when they were on camera. They were both great. I mentioned Clates a lot, but those 2 boys especially as well were excellent.
So is there any chance you bringing some smaller streamers in?
Oh wait, but hopefully people.
How many people ask that question? And it's like, hang on, look at the people that have actually come into it. What is a smaller streamer?
I dare say, like, with respect,
you're a streamer or you're not a streamer.
That are in this year. What level do you want to look at? We're all small streamers. If you look at Twitch, we're all like me included. We are all small streamers. The number is irrelevant. Like, and that I will continue to say that even if people don't believe me. The amount of people that are watching
quality streamers?
Yeah, I really don't care how many people are watching your stream. If I watch your stream and think this guy's got whatever the thing is, and ultimately, it does come down to me. But we also put a lot of work in, so we have to make sure that whoever comes in fits the bill. Sometimes, I've had this situation loads of times where I want to bring in 2 or 3 people to a new showdown, but I want to bring them in together, and one of them tells me no, and I think, right, I'm not going to bring you in yet because you'd be better as a pair with this person. That happened a few times, where there's people that say, I can't believe this person's not been involved, and I'm a little bit like, yeah, I invited them 3 weeks ago, but they couldn't do it. Like, go back to it. If you're streaming and you've got a lot of quality, then of course we want you involved. Why would we not want you involved? But am I pleased that we've got a strong core of people that know exactly what's going on? You're damn right I am. Makes it way easier and way better. So like, and it also makes it easier for those newer creators to come into, because you've not got 4 people that are like, what's going on? I don't know what the rules are. They can then at that point they can ask any other person involved and say what happens here, and they can go, this is what happens, and it's really easy. And a lot more comfortable for whoever's taking part.
I mean, like,
talk about this all day, boys. Sorry, it's just like just streamer showdown chat, but yeah.
No, you got any exclusives for the next one?
There will be another one, and it is sponsored.
Exclusive.
Yeah, there'll be another one. It'll be sponsored, but I can't really say any more than that today.
Awesome.
Eyes emoji. Looking forward to it. But yeah, like you say, lots of people have said what Joe said, but like you've just said as well, there's lots of people that have been asked and can't do it for one reason or another, and there's lots of people that have been suggested, and like you say, it's about getting. There's no point in saying let's get him in, and chuck them all in. Like so, having like 6 new people.
Her.
Yeah, or her. Sorry, yeah, having 6 new people in a streamer showdown, and 6 of them don't know or have a clue what's going on. So you've got to bed people in almost as well, I think.
And equally, right, sometimes we'll get someone who's more established and a bigger creator. It's because they've been on the block. And if you bring them in, I don't have to tell them anything. Yeah. They know what they have to do. It's really easy. Whereas with a smaller streamer who maybe hasn't been part of big group projects before, you do have to sort of like put an arm around them and say, look, this is how we do things. If you've got any questions, ask me. And then hopefully they do. It's one of them.
But yeah, like I said, I think we've all been a part of it, whether on screen or behind the scenes. I think we've all really, really enjoyed it, and long may it continue. Looking forward to it again in FM21 as well. I know you boys spoke a little bit on the last podcast about books, TV series, podcasts. Has anyone got? Did you talk about it on the last podcast?
Are we still doing this?
I am because
I'm glad you listened, Dave.
I did listen, but it was that long ago, wasn't it?
I love the fact that you go. I know you guys spoke about it last time. You chose not to be on. We didn't kick you out. Just saying. You had a headache that night.
I did have a headache that night.
I'll be honest. I'll jump in immediately and just go. I've played loads of Football Manager.
So he'll also say that with books, DVDs, and Netflix stuff, he said it all last time. He doesn't want to say it again.
That's all right. I'm just going to check if he's watched anything new since then.
I've not really seen anything other than The Boys. I've not really seen anything.
I need to watch that as well.
Even that, I've barely watched. Yeah.
I think after we last discussed it, I went and watched The Last Dance. I think it was
good.
I think I was the last person in the world to watch it.
I've not watched it.
Second from last person in the world to watch it.
I'm 2 episodes on Tiger King at the moment.
Yeah. I did enjoy that. That was good. Good fun.
Brilliant.
Where would you rank it in other sports pieces, whether that be film or documentary? That's a quite good question, actually. I'll have that. What's like your top 3 before you've seen that, and does it break in?
So what, sporting documentary / sporting
or films? Yeah, because I would put Remember the Titans would be right up there for me in terms of sports films. Absolutely love that.
I was like, well, High School Musical's got basketball, so that'd be quite high up there.
Yeah, not as good but it's not as good as Coach Carter. So
no, Coach Carter's got to be out there.
Goal 1 and goal 2 and Bend It Like Beckham.
Favourite films ever.
Blind Side, we like The Blind Side as well.
That's a good film. Very good film.
That's with Sandra Bullock, right?
I watched that years ago, man.
She's tremendous. The Damned United would be up there.
That's a good film as well. I watched it years ago, man. Feels weird.
Waterboy would be up there. I love Waterboy.
Not quite the same, though.
It's still a sports-based film, though, right?
Space Jam.
Yeah, and obviously you got
Space Jam is tremendous.
Space Jam.
You
got Moneyball as well. Moneyball's really good. But then, because I think it's the best documentary. I think it's the best sports documentary I've seen.
Space Jam. Not Space Jam. Space Jam, Michael Jordan one, whatever that is. Sorry.
If Dave thinks Space Jam's a
documentary... I've got Bugs Bunny in my head here.
Bugs Bunny. You should see what happened after that film to Bugs Bunny. The second documentary was unbelievable.
Flubber as well.
I would say that I would have to probably say that's not far. It has to be up there. It has to be up there as one of the best documentaries of sport.
Spurs one. I'm not. I know Spurs one's not probably on that level because I can't judge. I don't know what's going on out there.
I think if you said the All or Nothing series in general.
Yeah, that is a concept.
Yeah.
Have you boys watched the American ones of those? Because I'll see.
I started watching the Eagles. I watched some of the older.
I've watched them.
What's that like in comparison?
The Last Chance and stuff. That's
What's that like in comparison? The American ones, or is it like in terms of concept? Is it similar?
Very, very similar.
Yeah.
Obviously different sports, but the way it's shot is very similar. The Leeds one, Take Me Home, was good as well. Like that. Yeah. Russell Crowe.
Agree.
Gets you in the feels.
The Mighty Ducks. Phil Rivers. The Mighty Ducks trilogy.
Dude knows that one.
Football Factory.
The Flying V. Mean Machine.
Football Factory. Mean Machine. Longest Yard.
I wasn't a big fan of that one.
It's not the same, is it?
No, it's not the same.
Have any of you had the any of you at Goal 3? Because that is probably
I've not seen Goal 3.
Absolutely
I
dreadful.
refuse, actually. Yeah.
Dreadful film.
Not seen it, Dave. Not seen it.
Goal 1 and Goal 2 given to.
I'm gonna have to Google this now. Let's have a look. Let's see what. In case we're missing one, I don't want to be missing.
What sports films?
QPR documentary. It's got Warnock in. That's a given.
I actually really like that.
Yeah, same. What was that now? That must be like
a 5-year plan, or what it's called.
5-year plan. Yeah, it's still on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, there, really good.
Best sports films. What have you got?
Dodgeball. Oh, Blades of Glory. What the fuck?
Whoa, that's a good film. Up the Blades of Glory. Any others?
Yeah, that's not really. Draft Day's a good film. That's kind of based on a true story.
Can't think of any of his or documentaries.
A Rocky, I guess, but
Yeah.
It's a bit of a classic, isn't it?
Eddie the Eagle.
The Wrestler's very good, actually. Eddie the Eagle.
That's alright.
The Wrestler, yeah, the Wrestler was good.
The Wrestler is really good.
Yeah.
It's a very good film.
What about
What's wrong with Mark Wahlberg? Where he plays for the Eagles.
Oh,
Spoke about this the other day, didn't we?
Maybe.
Mark Wahlberg.
what is that called?
That's a good film.
The Great Escape. Not that film, but
Any Given Sunday. It's a good film.
I was going to say Mark Wahlberg's also in The Fighter, which is like not.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg. The Invincible, Joe, maybe?
The
Invincible?
Invincibles.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah.
Vince, a strongly.
Oh, is that Matt Damon though?
Sorry.
Is that Matt Damon? Or is that I'm thinking of the
Mark
South
Wahlberg.
African rugby.
Oh, that's Invictus.
Invictus.
That's really good, apart from Matt Damon's terrible South African accent. He sounds Welsh.
I quite like a Matt Damon film. We've seen what's it called? It's where he goes to Mars. He gets stuck on Mars.
The Martian.
Yeah, that's good days, yeah.
The Martian. Yeah, I love The Martian.
I've not seen it, but I know what it's called.
No,
what about
it's
Cars
just film
3?
that
That's
one.
quite a good sports film.
Planes.
Herbie.
Yeah.
You say that? Drive to Survive. That's good. Sports,
Yeah.
sports
And Senna.
documentary.
Yeah.
Senna was a good
Ah,
film, wasn't it?
Senna.
Talladega
Drive.
Nights. Yeah.
Rush.
Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rush.
Drive
yeah.
to Survive is right up there for me, actually. I think it's in terms of documentary, really, really good.
Yeah, because it's such a sport that you don't get to see much. I mean, you get to see more of it now, actually. I take that back. You do get to see that. You get to see a lot more because of people like Lando Norris and stuff like that. But no, it's a tremendous documentary. I remember watching it all on the way back from San Francisco. It's tremendous.
There you go.
You been there, have you?
Once.
It's near New York, that is. Ben.
What about what's the film with the
Wouldn't know,
boxer in
Dave,
it?
It's on completely opposite side.
Yeah.
Rocky?
Same.
No,
same.
what's the film Mike Tyson's in?
Hangover.
Hangover.
One night in Bangkok. Yeah, in the second film.
What? Was he in that one?
The second
And
one at the
honestly,
end, didn't he? Yeah.
I guess we got to say the Diego Maradona documentary. I don't know if you've seen
I need
that.
to watch that. A lot of people
Last
recommend
year's
it.
one came out last year.
The Football Manager documentary that made it into the list.
Football Manager stand up.
Greatest
We had him
goal
on
of the
yesterday.
world. No.
That came free, didn't it? Football Manager documentary.
I went to watch that live. I was one of the saddos that went to the cinema to watch that live.
Did you? I didn't go in case I was recognised. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen.
I remember I went because you had a chance to become a
Because it was PG.
regen new gen, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
Miles did that Q&A live after, and that's when I thought he was a bit of a J-bag on Twitter.
Was that with Jack?
Nah.
Was that a different event?
Yeah, Jack did the one at that JD Sports, whatever, wasn't it? That wasn't. I don't think that was. Nah, I can't remember who interviewed him.
On
There
Facebook.
was like a crowd there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shambles.
Oh, great film, by the way. Wimbledon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Was it
I
Kirsten
did like it,
Dunst?
yeah, great film.
actually. Yeah, and the guy who's now really famous,
Paul
B. It's a B.
Bettany. Is it Bettany?
Bettany, that's it. He's in a new
Yeah.
film that's just come out actually.
Yeah, he was.
I've watched parts of that. I might have to watch that in full.
Happy Gilmore, obviously the golf one. I mean, it's a bit of a comedy, but it's quite. I quite think that. I think that's such
I
an
feel like
easy
we've
watch.
named every sports film that is remotely good now. So if you're looking for something to watch, any of the ones we've said are pretty good.
Trying to think of, Mike Tyson in Hangover.
What's the Arsenal one?
89.
Yeah, it's like
What's
the American version of it is Fever Pitch. Is it Fever Pitch?
2. I don't know.
What was Sean Penn? Or was it Sean Penn? Or
It's
Sean
quite an old
Penn?
one because the American one had Jimmy Fallon in it. It was about the baseball. So what was it? I'm gonna have to Google that.
This is the worst quiz you've put on.
I don't know. I've kicked off the other one, mate.
It's not. It's not the worst one he's done.
We're not allowed to talk about quizzes. I'm googling it now.
He's been sacked from the 5-star pod.
What's the one with the rocking where he meets his daughter for the first time? American football.
That's
I think it's a kids' film.
Yeah, it's a kids' film.
The Game Changer, something like that.
Game Changer. It's a Game Changer. Love that.
Something like that.
Speaking of which,
oh fuck,
which sports books do actually have one to hand. If this desk isn't quite straight. So
what commission do you get with that?
I don't know. I bring it up all the time because I know it makes him cringe every single time I do it when I'm talking.
Is it?
So,
Bless him.
Every single time.
I like Spain.
Okay, hang on. You can come back to me. I am literally looking for this film now. It's actually a really good film.
Mic'd Up, BT Sport, mini documentaries, they're good. Got Warnock in again, so you know. Always win.
You love him. You love Warnock.
It's his birthday today.
Would you say Warnock's your favourite, Dave? Out of everybody in, like...
Other than Nuno.
In football? Yeah. In football. Who's your favourite person in football? That's a good question. I'm just doing questions now.
Yeah,
who's your favourite person in football?
This is the leadership we needed.
I'm enjoying this podcast so much. I want to do another one now. Favourite person in football?
Jake Humphries is up there.
I've met Jake Humphries.
So we could do an out there shout.
I was about 15, but I'm sure he remembers it.
Geordie's work on News Round.
See, I guess you might know because it was literally the other day. But I can't believe Gary Lineker's 60.
I know.
Is he?
I can't believe he shit himself.
That's crazy. Has he? No one ever mentions that to him ever. I've never 60. Seen that in his replies.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? 60. But I quite like Gary Lineker generally.
I think Lineker's pretty decent.
I watched a clip. There was a clip. It was only it was 2005, so it didn't actually seem that long ago. It doesn't sound that long ago, and he does look like ridiculously different. And they're like I'm sat there like, why does he look so different? And then it is 15 years ago. But I think the glasses make him look a lot older now as well. I think.
So mine's probably Roy Keane.
Well, you like him, most likeable.
Yeah, no, just someone that I like in football. Because if Roy Keane's talking about the football, I don't always agree with what he says, but I'm interested in what he's saying. Yeah, because it's just there's this edge to Keane that you feel like he could get up and storm out of the studio at any point.
I have to be honest though, him and Souness are the worst too.
No, I don't think
they are awful.
Critically, I don't think they're actually that great, but I think in terms of entertainment value, Roy Keane is like.
I think it was a few weeks ago when we played Leicester and we got done by a dodgy handball. And like Micah Richards and I think it might have been Peter Crouch or someone was there like, no, never a penalty. And Roy Keane's there like, that's a penalty. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, you say it is harsh, but it's a penalty. So I don't know why we're talking about it. It's a penalty. So it's one of them dodgy handball rules. And it's just, I was creasing, like I know it was against my team. I was pissed off, but he was funny.
See, before I said he would leave the studio. Roy Keane's the sort of man that would like dig in.
Yeah,
He'd live there if he had to. Like, I'm not leaving. Yeah. I'll be the last one to leave. Like, lights go off. He's just sitting in his chair still, just like. Yeah.
The film I was talking about was actually called Fever Pitch. It had Colin Firth in it.
After all that.
Yeah, 1997. Dave wasn't even born then.
Might have been. Depends what month it was at.
Do we have the month to for?
Yeah. We do have a month.
How was Dave not born for Euro 96?
Someone told me this.
4th of April 1997, Dave.
I was.
You were so happy there. I was like, I was there.
How old were you?
I was at the premiere.
About a month and a half old.
So 6 weeks then. Going back to the competition earlier.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Is that we all done for sports? Any more?
So just to make you aware, Rotten Tomatoes
what's the
have The Wrestler as the greatest sports movie of all time.
That's not that old, is it though?
2008. Were you born then? It was out in 8. Then they had Creed as second, and then they had Ford versus Ferrari as third.
What?
With Matt Damon.
That's good. That is that film.
Yeah.
Wrestler. I'll have to watch
that. Moneyball was 13th. Unlucky for some.
I feel like we should create a top 3.
Your favourite number?
We should create a top 3 so people know what they should be watching if they've not seen it.
Okay, Coach Carter. 100. Let's do this as a group. I'm saying Coach Carter. We all agree with that?
No.
I never watched it.
What?
Not top 3.
No, Ben.
Top 10.
It's in my top 3.
I'm not getting involved
because I bet it's third.
My judgment is crap.
Today's out, so we've overruled Ben 2-1. Okay, brilliant.
Oh, is that just in? Is it? I don't mind. I really like the film, but fair enough.
Ben, come on, what's your biggest fear?
Not that I'm inadequate. Our biggest fear is that we are immeasurable beyond power.
My deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It's not our light, but our darkness that most frightens us.
Sorry,
Who are we to... Oh, I'd stop.
See, if I was 15, I just enjoy the... Because I'm hopeful, yes I am.
Which what? Richmond, which what? So you love the film, Ben.
I do love the film. I've seen it lots, mate. I'm a big fan of Creed.
Okay, go on then. You can pick.
I put Remember the Titans would be right up there for me.
No, I haven't seen the end of it.
Quite a pivotal bit.
I watched it on the way to New York, Clanger, and I didn't watch the end of it. And like, it's never good watching a film on the way to on an aeroplane in first class. It's just terrible.
and then having to get moved to business class halfway through the flight. It's just one of those things, isn't
the
it?
seats that lie all the way back, your head has to lie at such an angle to see it, and it's just not great.
You didn't see the image, you fell asleep. It was so comfortable.
Yeah, it was just like I was just on a bed of air.
The lobsters passed to me halfway through the flight. It was just so so distracting.
Yeah, I had to turn it off when we had the champagne. Right, yeah, I kind of give you that one. What I watched of it was pretty good.
What's that one about? Sorry.
Denzel Washington is amazing. So
Yeah.
it focuses a little bit on sort of the race war in America at the time, and he is an American football coach that brings white and black players together in an area which is got quite a lot of hostility, and but it's absolutely brilliant. It's quite poignant of the year as well that we've just had.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a must watch.
Okay.
Big fan.
Are you happy with that, Joe?
Yeah, it's a good film.
So we've gone.
Oh no, not having that. No, I don't want it in now.
Well, you just done the same to us.
I'm a big Denzel Washington fan as well.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Deja
Vu. You're a fan of Deja Vu.
Yeah. So
Hey.
I reckon it's one of my favourite films he's ever done was Inside Man, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
No.
It's a great film. That used to be my sick film.
Man on Fire.
It's a good film, very good film. But my sick film used to be Inside Man. The minute I started feeling poorly, I used to just get into bed, watch Inside Man. Felt great after that.
So what rounds off the top three?
Bone Collector.
So I'm wrestling this back here. I can't help it.
Bone Collector's good.
What's the other one in the top three?
Well, I feel that we've done two American sports that I feel we need to bring it home. So
I was going to say Rush.
Rush is good. Rush is really good.
I'm not even sure I've seen Rush.
What's Rush?
It's with Chris Hemsworth in it. It's
the Nicky Lauda, James Hunt story.
Hunt and Lauda.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I'm with you.
38 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Have you watched Wrestler or not?
No.
Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah.
It's good. It wouldn't be in my top three.
It's a bit depressing, to be fair.
Okay.
The Damned United would be up there for me.
That is a really good film.
$1 Million Baby's a good film.
It's not that great.
It's 24th on this. Just saying.
I'll go the Mighty Ducks D2. The middle one of the trilogy is particularly good.
Mike Bassett, England manager? No? Okay.
It's a classic, but it's not.
It's not top three.
Sports films ever.
I could take Damned United. I think that's a good
That
film.
is a good film.
I think if you had to watch those three films,
You'd be happy.
yeah, that's a good afternoon. I mean, it's not like there's no football to watch, so
I mean, they're free recommendations. I'm sure, if someone brought up another film eventually, we'd say, oh yeah, that'll be in.
or let's go Rush. Let's go Rush instead, because then Ben's put yours forward, which was what crap film did you put?
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. I put Coach Carter and Joe's put Rush. So Dave, you might as well just put one and we'll make a top four.
If you're enjoying the podcast, leave your three in the comment section down below, and make sure you like the video if you haven't already. So that's what I'm here for.
Sorry,
the final one. Might as well put some interaction involved.
Yeah. Come on, Dave. What's your favourite sports film?
I mean,
Wolves.
I'm not
season review 2015.
Gridiron Gang.
Yeah, I'm not a big film watcher.
What about film book? You got loads behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Christmas.
Just recommend that you've got a haircut for it. Santiago Munez.
Which one's it? A goal 1 or goal 2? Goal 1, mate. A goal 2 makes me a bit sad, towards the end. Because
goal 2's the goal 1's
he doesn't really cheat on his missus, but his missus leaves him. It's a bit sad, And I watched goal 3, right, with the hope that they would get back together, and it disappointed me.
Spoilers.
The production value was crap. That is spoilers, and So watch goal 1 and goal 2, but don't watch goal 3.
Okay, so goal 1's where he does the
Fulham.
Fulham. Yeah. He watched my game.
My game against Fulham. My dad saw that.
we've also not mentioned The Karate Kid, which is a great film.
True.
That's better with his headband, isn't it?
Jaden Smith or
No, the original.
No, the original.
The original.
Oh,
Dave, were you born? Were you born when that was out?
Probably not. I've just
No
got Joe's got some advent calendars behind him there.
Maybe Joe.
Come on, Joe.
I've got mine.
You open them?
I got mine here. Do you want to see mine?
Have you opened yours?
Yeah, I've opened my
What was
number.
in it?
So, okay, here we go. Here's a good question for you. So, we had an argument on stream. We had an argument on stream.
It's not an argument. You told people what you do.
Okay, this is what I do, and
You rip the
people
door.
judge me for it. No, I don't rip the door.
Go on.
I start on 24
And work down. What are you doing, man?
because it counts down how many sleeps it is till Christmas.
Yeah, but
What are
24 is
you
normally the
talking
biggest and
about?
best one.
It's the,
but
it's
not
the
on this
date,
one.
though, isn't it? But it's
Not on
the
this one.
date. You're supposed to open it for the date, though, not the
Yeah, but
countdown.
it counts me down. I haven't then got to do the maths.
You just look at your phone,
What,
or
counting?
it's 2nd
He
December.
just,
he's getting
he just
number two
does things to try and rustle people.
Anyway,
Right.
mine is a
It's working.
Friends Nespresso advent calendar. Every single day, I get a different flavour Nespresso capsule to go
Oh,
with
that's
them.
pretty
That is
cool.
the most middle class calendar I've ever seen in my whole life.
And the other one I have is my different type of couscous. Every day.
Dave,
To be
Dave
fair,
there,
my
they
mate,
was like,
my mate got a
"What?"
Brewdog one today.
That's
pretty
cool.
cool,
Brewdog
yeah.
advent calendar.
I reckon
50
Dave was
quid.
thinking, there's
Was it?
other types of couscous.
Yeah.
My brother got my brother just got a 24 back of Carlin and
Diabetes.
just wrote the numbers on himself. I'll have that one today.
I had a Heroes one, just got a Whisper. Pretty boring, standard today.
I got a whisper too.
Oh, there you
Sorry, I
go.
didn't hear that.
Good.
I got a whisper.
That's why he's here. That's why you've had this many days. Without Joe, this crumbles.
Wow.
Falls apart, mate. Honestly. What a superstar.
Joe,
I had the sound effects.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
don't want to hear them again.
So how are you going to round off? Again, I'm sort of just taking over it, boys. But how are you going to round off the final
Fade to
social
black.
highlights,
No.
lowlights?
We'll see you all tomorrow.
Who's your favourite? Each of you can name a favourite guest, and no one else can be offended because it's very personal to you. You know, favourite guest other than me, because let's not make it awkward.
Okay.
You're
Yeah, so
part,
we'll
of,
just-
you're
we'll-
part
we'll
of the family,
assume
don't
me.
you, really?
Yeah, so I would never
You're
say
part of the
you're my
family. You're not
favourite.
really unique.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay,
YouTube.com/DoctorBenjy.fm.
I've got a bit-
curious.
We just get you on for the clout, to be honest.
Is that right?
We don't like you. It's just the clout.
Good luck with your podcast next year, boys. And I don't talk about it ever.
yeah.
Sorry.
Good luck with the next year of 5-star pods when I never reference it in anything I do.
That's finishing soon anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
God, don't
Exclusive.
do that. Oh God! I'll come in. I'll save it.
Yeah,
I'll be
Duke's
like
leaving.
Mike Ashley saving Debenhams.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I
Right, go on
then.
I enjoyed
Favourite
all of
guest,
them.
Dave?
I enjoyed all of them. To be
Oh,
fair.
such a-
No. I'm picking out people, but like, I can't say there was one that I'll finish it. I thought, mate, that bloke was boring.
I enjoyed the one with Lelujo
Oh,
purely
you
because
bastard.
I had a different. My opinions of him were changed. And
Yeah.
I
In a
think
good way.
A lot of people have spoke about it before. Yeah, good way. I tweeted it and said it was probably one of my favourite ones.
Got to the end of it,
Certainly
Joe was like, I
changed-
can't stand this guy. I liked him before. Never meet your heroes, Joe was thinking.
I'm gonna go for quite an obvious one, but the chat was good. I enjoyed the
Don't.
chat.
Don't.
The banter was great. We had a lot in common. So I'm gonna say FNG.
Oh, what
Oh.
the?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, Neo was good.
Yeah, Neo Ants was really cool. Just
I thought Reece Bennett was good as well.
Respin it.
yeah, Reese was good actually. Yeah, Work the Space was good.
After that first 5
I
seconds.
wanted
when
one. I wanted one. Jesus.
That first 5 seconds with Reece, I was like, oh my
wow.
God, how are we going to drag like an
Oh
hour
my
out of
word,
this?
yeah. If not the Reese one, we all sat there. I asked him one question, and it was quite a blunt response, and everyone looked at each other like, "Fuck," because like we just thought we've never. Everyone's been quite talkative, and he was really blunt, and we were like, "Nah, this is gonna be one of them." But to be fair, once he got into it, and he told us some good stories as well. Don't think he didn't really hold back too much. Craig Tanner as
He's a
well was a good
football
one.
podcast.
I think the thing is we could speak to those two again next year or whatever. I'm not saying we're going to do another lockdown podcast, but if we brought them onto another
don't think
podcast or another
Yeah.
one-off, they could tell us so many more stories as well. Same with Matt Neal as well. I think all of them were good. There wasn't one, like I said, where we finished and I thought, bloody hell, that was crap. Like they were all really good and really enjoyable to speak to everyone. Really, everyone had different stories.
Yeah, and I think that's the best about it was, and like as much as this was COVID and lockdown, I think like at the end, it kind of the last 10 episodes we've just been
Calm down. a bit.
chatting and just talking like, not nonsense to say, but like just reminiscing on stuff and kind of our anecdotes from years gone by. And I just think genuinely, if I wasn't on the podcast, I'd enjoy listening to the podcast. To be fair.
Have you learned anything? Go on, sorry, Joe.
I was just pretty much that. It's an answer to that question actually, because I was going to say it's good to talk, because even though we might have talked absolute pony, Dupe's episode about meal deals, it's we've just kind of have a catch up with your mates.
Yeah.
And there was certainly some episodes that I started in a bad mood and finished in a good mood. So just having a chat can make you be in a better mood. And sometimes when you're listening to Dupe trying to be funny, it can put you in a shit mood. But
I
normally
just like having the backing of my mates at all times. No, I do you know what? For me, I would say that I was able to show throughout this kind of, I do have a bit of a softer side than I might show normally, and it was good to talk about it, and it's good to kind of touch upon the problems and the troubles that I've had, and I'm hope that in the future, people can look back on these, and if you're having a bad week or a bad day, you can just go in a year's time, 2 years time, just go and click on it and watch one of them and just laugh at us, to be fair, and laugh with us, and that's kind of the hope, to be fair.
What about you, Dave? Because you've done content of lots of different kinds.
Yeah.
Over the years, and obviously this is actually quite different to everything I would say you've done before. So do you feel like, because obviously you've hosted this, whereas on other podcasts obviously you've sort of been a guest on it, have you found it different? Like, have you enjoyed this process?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. Like, I mean, we've said it before, we've said it quite a bit. I think other than the energy and tiredness factor, like I said, I've enjoyed every single one. But these two have been a massive part of it as well. Like, obviously I would have been able to, if I said, or if any of us said, right, I'm going to do this daily podcast, I want you two to maybe come on one or two. Like, I know all of us would have struggled to do it on our own. So obviously with these two, and obviously everyone else that's come on, really, because we could have had a lineup of 30 guests and like 10, 15 of them could have said no, and it would have been stuff, really. So obviously everyone else helping as well. But yeah, I think we had, like, Joe worked on sort of an initial lineup of questions, which I think worked well, and we all sort of chucked in questions, which worked well. But yeah, it's been good, really. It's been good, but yeah.
I think you should try and do it every month as like at a minimum.
Yeah, I said we should carry on and upload maybe do it a bit more regularly. Yeah. You obviously do the FM one, but there'll be nothing to say you couldn't do it.
I think from watching it, because I watched it, I've not kept up with it more recently just because I've been busy. But like the first load, I listened to every single one, and you definitely begun to see. You all felt more comfortable opening up, because obviously I've had conversations with you over the years where we're very honest to each other and we talk about a lot of things, but being able to do that in a more public setting takes some time. Some people never get there, right? Some people never show that side of them. So I think, as much as like Dupe, you said you bring a softer side, it's actually what it actually is you. You bring out more of you, and I think there's a lot of positives that can be taken from that. Whether you're listening and feeling whether you're not sure if you can ever be like that with certain people, I think that the more that you can feel like you, the happier you end up being. So yeah, I think credit to you boys. It's been great.
The last thing I'd want to say is just big shout out to these two, because all that it's shown throughout doing this is that these boys have got our backs, and I know that if I had a problem, I could go to either one of them and we'd get it hashed out, solved, and definitely supported from both of them. So yeah, I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. That sounds really bad, but you know what I mean? If I had to pick a threesome, it's right here. So yeah. So
to be fair,
they film it.
Yeah. To be fair, yesterday summed it up for me, because we was literally, what was it? I don't know, lunchtime. Me and Dupe. No, not yesterday. Sunday.
Yeah.
And we was talking. We was like, oh, God, fucking hell, really can't be bothered to kind of. We thought we was going to record early. We didn't record early. We was like, oh, I could really do without having an early night tonight.
And then the race is on.
Dupe and I watched the F1, and the next thing we know, Dave's come back. I've done a podcast. He literally just like rounded up Kurt and Herb, jumped in, done a podcast, and we was like, fuck it, that's like the best thing that could have happened to us. We just got a chance to relax, and we genuinely thought he'd just like gone to do something else, and he come back, oh, you've done a pod. We're like, really?
Yeah.
He read the situation very well.
Well done, Dave. Like Connor Cody back there. Just
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Now,
don't let yourself down.
Yeah. No, I think I speak for everyone. We appreciate everybody's support. If you've ever dropped a like, watched 1 minute of any of these podcasts or learn anything from them, we really do appreciate it a lot. As always, you can show support to us by hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, letting us know your thoughts overall on the podcast in the comment section down below. If you ever are struggling, obviously there's links in the description to people that can help. Our DMs are open. You can email info@westreamfm.com as well. But yeah, if there's nothing else to add, lads, for the last time,
I think
go on. Sorry.
Our next live one will probably be the Christmas one. So Ben might be on that as well.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Will there be a quiz? I'm in. Sign me up. Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Unless it's a bullshit quiz, then I won't be part of it.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of that bullshit quiz either, to be fair. Not happy with that.
Those are the days. Yeah. But yeah, until next time, everybody, we really appreciate your support. Look after yourselves, and I'm sure we'll see you all very, very soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Stay safe, everyone.